Shalom, this is Brother Darby from GMS Detroit. I would like to say all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rikakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who rule well. Shalom to the hopeful elect out there. With that being said, I want to get into a quick lesson. This is concerning these robotics that these Edomites is coming up with. We'll take a couple of little videos, look at them, and then we'll filter them through the scriptures. So let's take a look at this video first. Boys into the death trap, man. You run from that.
Each of our helicopters is able to hover for 2.5 hours at 1 kilometer of altitude and control a square kilometer, detecting any pixel that moves underneath it and classifying it and determining and
detecting any pixel that moves. See?
ranking it based on the threat that it represents. Each of our helicopters is able to hover for 2.5 hours at 1 kilometer of altitude and control a square kilometer, detecting any pixel that moves underneath it and classifying it and determining and ranking it based on the threat that it represents. Each of our helicopters...
2 hours. Listen, you got to understand the depths of this. He said it could last for, 2.5 hours or 2 hours? All they would do is that they would send another one to take his place, and then while that one go back and go to a recharging station. So it's like, if you hiding out somewhere, hey Jake, you gonna be you can't escape this, Jake. They will have that bitch hovering over your ass looking for a pixel to move. I mean, you can't even breathe. You up into some bushes, can't even breathe, right? You got a gully suit on or a camouflage on. You can't breathe, Jake. You in some bushes trying to hide, and you just think you're gonna wait this thing out for 2 hours, but you don't know in the hour and a half, hour to 45-minute mark, they just sent another one and just to get that one have enough power to fly back to its base to recharge. And then it'd be a continuous cycle. This is the mind of Esau, Edom, man. You seen the airplane jets, where they would have fuel tankers in the sky waiting for them. You know what I'm saying? So they can carry on their missions, man. This thing is start out for your ass, Jake. So let's go through a couple of scripts, hey. And this is Jeremiah 30:7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great." It says, so that none is like it. It says it. There's no, excuse me, let's go and start it over. Jeremiah 30:7. "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." So it said, but he shall be saved out of it. That's the most important time, that part, he shall be saved out of it. So that he giving us a glimmer of hope, and we need to, stand on that glimmer of hope, with all that we got, what I'm saying? All our treasures we done stored up in heaven, and we need to depend on them, for that glimmer of hope, expecting to be saved from these troubles and stuff. Because you see what they got you see what they got for us, you know what I'm saying? You see the type of things they are planning for us, the type of weaponry they are building for us, you know what I'm saying? So I want to get this other scripture. So many that you can get, bring out so many ways you can, bring this through, bring this out. But I want to get this one prescription. Okay. It's a Job scripture. I think this might be it. Yes. It says this is Job 20 and 4. That's not the scripture I'm looking for, but I'll find it. But we can also bring this out. It says, knowing, this is Job 20 and 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Yeah. So that's letting you know, hey, the wicked won't prevail. You know, and the Most High will have our best interest. You know what I'm saying? You know, for especially for the men, you know that he deemed worthy. That's counted. You know, part of you know, that's gonna that's counted worthy. You know what I'm saying? You know, because you could be counted not worthy, and your ass is gonna perish. You know, by these drones, by this weaponry that Esau got. You know, that's why it's called Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? Why I be thinking about that, because it says no time like no one has seen before, and we have seen um in the times of all these we read about them and seen them and whatnot, in this time of war and these times of upheavals on the people, we seen what type of things they went through. You know what I'm saying? We seen them go from um you know, on horseback, you know, running Jake down on horseback with pistols and shit and rifles and whatnot. We seen that. We seen, you know, even on horseback with swords and shit. You know, we seen that, right? We seen them coming through with Humvees and tanks and shit. We seen that, right? This is like a time of never before, and that's why I be thinking that that this technology Esau coming up, we haven't seen nothing like this in the battlefield. We just not seeing this is new. You know, this is new to our eyes. Even though they did have some like what would be technical things back in certain times and stuff. Like you gotta think like the catapult. You know, when they was catapulting big ass rocks and shit and all type of shit on top of you. That was probably advanced for its time when it first came out. You know what I'm saying? And I remember I read some how they was easy, how they would Jake was in some ways easily conquered by these Edomites. I heard that these Edomites will be slinging dead bodies on Jake. You know what I'm saying? Slinging chopped up bodies, dead animals, human waste. See, he been fighting using germ warfare. He been fighting it that way. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand, you got noble Jake trying to fight and defend the castle, and here this motherfucker slanging of he's slanging um pounds and and of dead flesh at your ass. They own dead soldiers. They say like, what we gonna do with these dead soldiers? You tell asking the general of the army, what we gonna do with these dead soldiers? With these are dead. He say, let's chop them up and put them in a catapult and slang them over to the castle and shit. You know, so they've been fighting this way. You know what I'm saying? So nevertheless, hey, it just got each, you know, when time passes, hey, it got more advanced. You know what I'm saying? And more wickeder. You know what I'm saying? Its germ fair has been going back since from that time. It progressed into the smallpox blankets. It progressed into the Tuskegee Airman syphilis shots. Whatever was a syphilis, gonorrhea, whatever. Nevertheless, it all progressed into the C19 to hit them up. You know what I'm saying? It all progressed. You know, his germ warfare and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? This is the devil, man. The earth has been given unto the hands of the wicked, man. So I want to find this Job scripture I had. Let me find it. The earth has been given unto the hands of the wicked, man. And the wicked, hey, yeah, that's one thing he do good is being wicked. That's what that's something that he has perfected. You know, Esau has perfected wickedness, man. So just bear with me while I find the script. Should be coming up. Okay, here it goes. This is Job 5:12, and it reads, it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprises. He taketh um, the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. So nevertheless, yeah, just giving us some hope. You know what I'm saying? That hey, the devices that the Lord would he disappointed the devices of the crafty. You know what I'm saying? Because we gotta understand how this stuff is working, this electricity and this technology and stuff, which was always a gift from the Most High anyway. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know how the Lord can do that. We can do this stuff. The Lord can come in and with a he could come in with a flock of damn birds and disrupt the devices of the craft. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, this is his ultimate. This is his game and his plan. He'll use a trillion lotuses to pop up out of the ground and surround that shit. You know what I'm saying? Where they can't read. Where it can't function. You know what I'm saying? So we just know we got the most advanced and most unstoppable power is Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? We gotta rely on that. You know what I'm saying? And we must do our best to stay counted worthy. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's the whole thing. We gotta stay our best. So in those times when this thing do pop off, hey, we'll be you know what I'm saying? We'll stand a chance. You know what I'm saying? If you just been full of wickedness, you just set yourself up for to be perished and to be ran over by these devices of the wicked. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to a couple of other scriptures I wanted to bring out. What I wanted to bring out. Um, oh, help is in the Lord. Let's see if I got any of them saved in the app. Let's see what this this fit. Okay, this is a good scripture. Ephesians 5. It says, "See, 5:15. It says, see then ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil." It says, "Wherefore ye not." It says, "Wherefore be ye not wise, but understanding that, but understanding what the will of the Lord is." Yeah, hey, that's plain and simple. It says uh, um, in verse 15 to see then that ye walk circumspectly and not as fools, but as wise. So, hey, we know these things is coming towards us, right? We know this. Esau, why do you think he's building robots like that, man? Why you think he's building, man? That's going to lead right into Jacob's trouble. So we know this thing is coming. So we need to be circumspect and not walk as fools, but walk wise, man. You know what I'm saying? We gotta walk wise. You know what I'm saying? And we not perfect. We gonna fall off. We gonna things gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Things gonna happen. So what we gotta do is stay strong and just pick up the pieces and keep on striving. Striving for the kingdom, man. You know what I'm saying? That's it, man. Hey, our help is in the Lord alone, man. What the scriptures, what the Lord say, hey, what y'all say, y'all said, without me you have nothing. Let's see if we can pull that up. can do nothing. This is John 15:5. It says, I am the vine, ye are the branches. It says, he that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. It says, for without me, you can do nothing. Hey, that's strong right there, man. That's strong. That's straight to the point, man. Without Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, without Yahweh Shai, hey, man, we can do nothing, man. We can do nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? You sitting ducks, man. You target practice, man. So, what you gonna do? Give yourself a chance or you just gonna give up? You know what I'm saying? You gonna lay it down for Esau or you gonna fight for your life? You gonna fight for your salvation? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When you gotta give an account, when you on the judgment scene, you gotta give an account. What's gonna be said about you? What's gonna be said in all holy conversation about you? You know what I'm saying? And you gotta think about that. Did you give up? Did you try? You know what I'm saying? Did you try? You know what I'm saying? Did you just give up? Did you just give in? You know? And then they might compare you. Yeah, you might be compared to the other little stuff that you had done. Okay, it's okay. You fought hard for this bullshit, but did you fight hard for me? You know what I'm saying? Did you fight hard for in your faith in me? Did you fight hard for that? You know, so you fought hard um to go. You stood up in line all day to go get some fucking Jordans. You know what I'm saying? You stood up in line 2 days straight to get a pair of fucking Jordans, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know, man, you work 80 hours in 1 week to buy a set of rims for a car. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you fought hard for all this other shit that don't mean there's meaningless. You know what I'm saying? But what did you do for me? Did you store those treasures in heaven? You know what I'm saying? So let's bring that scriptures out. Because you're gonna need these treasures, man, that you store. Why you think they say store them up? When you store something, that you mean you go get it back later. You know what I'm saying? You don't store it for somebody else. You store it for you could go retrieve it later when it's time in your time of need. You know what I'm saying? And in some cases, the people do store up stuff for other people. you know, like people may be storing up food just for the Lord's people to eat it. You know what I'm saying? So Matthew 6:20 says, lay up for yourself treasures in heaven where neither moth. Oh, let's go to the other verse. Let's go to this one. Matthew 6:19. It says, lay not up for yourself treasures upon earth where moth and rust do corrupt and where thieves break through and steal. It says, but lay up for yourself treasures in heaven where neither moth nor rust do corrupt and where thieves do not break through and steal. Yeah. Hey. And those treasures hey man, isn't gonna be tied into your acts, man. Your acts, man. A lot of it, your treasure is gonna be tied into your acts. You know what I'm saying? What did you do? Did you do anything for the brotherhood? Did you do anything for the truth? You know what I'm saying? Did you try to? Was you a watchman? Was you on your post? Did you abandon your post? You know what I'm saying? Um, you ain't. We ain't. Charity is fine. What the scripture say, charity covers a multitude of sin. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, charity is fine also. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be doing charity then go and doing wickedness to cover up your wickedness. You know what I'm saying? You can't just go, we say we see that the scripture do say it covers a multitude of sin, but how you gonna be doing tit for tat? You know what I'm saying? It's just like in the scriptures where they knew they was gonna sin, they went and gathered up all the animals because they knew they was gonna sin. That's not righteous. That's not righteous. You can't do that. You can't carry it out like that. You know what I'm saying? So you still gotta live a righteous. You gotta walk a righteous path. You know what I'm saying? And in the times of hardship where you do fall off or something might happen where you know, you done kind of like diverted away from the path. Um, hey, you get back on track. You know what I'm saying? And keep on fighting the fight. Keep on fighting the battle. You know what I'm saying? So hey, You want to be counted worthy at all costs. You know, you want to be counted worthy at all costs. I want to see if I saved any scriptures. Let me just look through a couple of these notes I made. Let me see. So let's get to this. Let's just bring this up, because this is ultimately what's going to happen to the people who don't listen. You know what I'm saying? It says, "Come." It says, "This is Jeremiah 18, Jeremiah 18:18." Then said they, "Come and let us uh, devise vices against Jeremiah." It says, um, "For the law shall not perish from the priest, nor counsel from the wise, nor the word, nor the word from the prophet." It says, "Come and let us smite him with the tongue, and let us not give heed to any of his words." And that's what a lot of these people coming against the truth, coming against these niggas. You never even heard of Jacob Trouble. Do you heard the Israelites, the majority, most of the Israelites speak upon it? You know, especially GMS and the GMS affiliates. You know what I'm saying? Then you got people coming up mocking and scoffing against the prophets. You know what I'm saying? Trying to link us on one big old group. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I don't want, some people will use that as an excuse is not um, not to take these groups and 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 line up each group with the scriptures to see who's telling the truth and who's not. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you're going to have these people that's going to come against the truth. They're going to make TikToks all day trying to come against the truth just for clout. You know what I'm saying? For some monetization from Zaddy. You know what I'm saying? From they white Zaddy. And you got a lot of, especially these women that's going to come up and mock and scoff the prophets, the men out here doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Sitting on their ass in a fucking home, eating some fucking tea biscuits, sipping on some tea, and sit up here and make a fucking TikTok going against the prophets in their houses, in their fucking house, in their comfort of their home. While we got the men out here in the highways and hedges, out here in the field, here doing the work. You know, the real men of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have those motherfuckers that's just going to come up and try to come against the word, speak against Jeremiah, speak against the prophet. And, you know what I'm saying? It says, give heed. This is verse 19. It says, give heed to me, O Lord. It says, and hearken to the voice of them that uh, contend with me. It says, shall evil be recompensed for good? It says, for they have digged the pit for my soul. Remember that I stood before thee to speak good for them and to turn away thy wrath from them. Yeah, and that's what how you got the prophets out here doing right now. We telling you, hey, we like, hey, y'all are of a royal priest, y'all are a royal people. You are holy, which means set apart. You gotta remember yourself. Hey, this truth is only for us. This Bible is only for us. Hey, salvation is only for us. Hey, the law was only given to us. Hey, we are those people of the promise. We telling y'all people that. We telling y'all that. Y'all walk away and turn away and give us your ass to kiss. You know what I'm saying? It says, therefore, it says, deliver up their children to the famine and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of the children, and be widows, and let their men be put to death. Let their young men be slain by the sword in battle. It says, let a cry be heard from their houses when thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them. It says, for they have digged a pit to take me, and hid snares for my feet. It says, O Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, it says, thou knowest all their counsel against me to slay me. Forgive not their iniquity, neither blot out their sins from thy sight. It says, but let them be overthrown before thee. Deal thus
Therefore deliver up their children
them.
to the famine, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of their children.
Oh, excuse me for that. It says, I'm gonna read 23 over. It says, yet Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai, thou knowest all their counsel against me to slay me. Forgive not their iniquity, neither blot out their sins from thy sight. It says, but let them be overthrown before thee, It says, deal thus with them in the long. It said, excuse me, in the time of thy anger. So yeah, hey, that's what's ultimately gonna happen. The Lord gonna give you up to Esau's devices and shit, man, and let your ass fall short if you don't take the heed and the word from the prophets that's out here giving you, telling you this, man. You know what I'm saying? Telling you this, but you just want to be a fucking nigga, man. You want to be a nigga. You want to be a bad bitch. You don't care. You just want what you see. You just want to. You just want to fulfill your fleshly needs every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? This device got a lot to do with it, man. And you gotta look at the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, how he could come up with this thing, man. How he could put in the mind of Esau, Edom, and even Jake, because a lot of this stuff, these inventions be coming from Jake too. You know what I'm saying? How he had cultivate, he had Jake create the beginning of this shit. Then he had Esau come in and grab it and then put the shit full of wickedness and shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff a lot of these ideas come from Jake. You know what I'm saying? And then Esau get a hold of it and put his twist on it, and then he got this shit ready to devour you, man. You know what I'm saying? Or hold you guilty in the eyes of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Esau created this device, and knowing that the scripture said that the Lord hates a proud, poor person. And all these niggas is poor, or all these niggas are poor. You know what I'm saying? And you sitting there walking around proud, and you proud as hell. You know what I'm saying? This device that puffed you up, make you think you somebody that you not. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got shit. You ain't got a pot to piss in and one to throw it out, but you think you somebody on fucking Facebook because you change your outfits every day, every other day or something. You changing outfits every other day, or you buying the latest gym shoes out, or you riding on some fucking rims or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Or you trying to travel every chance you get. You spending all the money you get to travel. You know, I met one of these women at the at the dollar store one day. I met this fucking woman. She was a little bit older than me, but she looked nice. She was a nice woman, so I shot my shot. And so she gave me a number, so we talked for a minute. And so when I knew it wasn't going nowhere, when she told me that all her daughter do is travel, her and her daughter. I said, your daughter ain't got no husband, no man. No, my daughter ain't got no husband, no man. No, she ain't thinking about no man. We just like to travel. I said, oh, she one of these bitches. She one of these bitches who want to go on exotic trips and hop on a plane all the motherfucking time and post the shit on Facebook. Oh, this is your thing. You a traveler. You a traveler critiquer. You want to go to different exotic places and eat exotic foods and post it on Facebook like you somebody like you really can afford this shit. You know, you a jet setter. So you get these type of people out here, man. They won't get that shit up. They won't get that. They won't get this up for nothing, man. You know, they love Esau and his trinkets. They love this motherfucker. Hey, they love Esau's fucking kingdom, man. You know, and they that love Esau's kingdom is gonna fall and burn with it, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, our help is in the Lord, man, because we already know what's coming towards us, man. Let's get a couple scriptures on that. We'll start at verse 6, and this is Psalms 24 and verse 6, and we read on down. And Blessed be the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshai, who have not given us as a prey to their teeth. You know, it says, this verse 7, our soul is escaped. It says, as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. It says, the snare is broken, and we are escaped. It says, our help is in the name of the Lord who made heavens and earth, man. Our help is in the name of the Lord, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we're going to depend on that, man. And you got groups out here that are even speaking on the name or even teaching the name. You know what I'm saying? You know? So, we prove that with this scripture also. And this is Proverbs. It says, Proverbs 18:10, it says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. Hey, so we gonna depend on that name, man. You know what I'm saying? We gonna depend on that name. Hey, you know. And I remember our the elder from Chicago came and he gave us this beautiful, he gave us a beautiful lesson on the name, and it was over King David. You know how King David went up against that when he was about to go up with Goliath, and he said, y'all come with swords and shields and staves, is that what they call staves or whatever? He said, y'all come with that? He said, well, I come in the name of the Lord, you know what I'm saying? And that's such a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? How David used the name of the Lord, to conquer that giant, you know what I'm saying? He used the name of the Lord, and he had and a primitive ass fucking weapon, man. Because they had swords and shields and shit. You know what I'm saying? And slaves. That's the name of them, staves and whatnot. And Goliath was defeated with a fucking rock. You know, the rock. And actually, the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? He said, well, the rock sunk into his fucking head, man. So you gotta understand the power. That's the power we depended on. We depended on that power that David had, that he depended on when he slung that rock, man. That primitive ass fucking rock that's been around for ages. You know what I'm saying? Well, they didn't took time to craft and beat these fucking swords and craft these swords through the fire and everything, through the fire and the craftsmanship of the what you call them, the swordsman, whatever they call it, I forgot what would you call them, but taking that time and beating it against the anvil, putting it, forging it through the fire, and then sharpening the blade and all that. Took that time. Took them, a month to make that sword. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta understand, probably Goliath probably had one of the biggest, baddest swords that he could probably, slang. You know what I'm saying? So he probably just wasn't given the regular sword that all the other motherfuckers Philistines was given. He was given probably a special sword. You know what I'm saying? It took extra time to make. So nevertheless, his soul, that soul was forged, you know what I'm saying, with blood, sweat, and tears. And here it is. Yahweh Shem Yahshua gave David a primitive ass fucking rock and a sling, man. A rock and a rope or some shit. And that's what he used, man. But ultimately he had the name. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gonna put. Our power and our hope is gonna come in the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Because Esau is that Goliath. He is that giant that we gonna be up against. And the Lord gave us the key, which was when David defeated that fucking giant with something primitive like a fucking rock. When he had at that time probably the highest level of weaponry at his time at his disposal to use to defeat David. So it's gonna be the same thing now with these drones and shit. You see this fucking shit? Let's go back to the video. You see that shit? I don't want to go into my that's all right. We ain't gotta get there. You can go back to the front of the video or whatnot, and see that damn machine gun strapped to that motherfucking remote control car or a remote control tank, whatever it was, and it was moving fast. You see that type of weaponry? But we not gonna be the Lord. Not gonna let His men, the men of the Lord, be defeated by Satan's device, Esau, crafty devices, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. I just wanted to bring out this quick lesson, and I hope you be edified by it. And I would like to say all praises to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Crocodiles, double honors to the elders, apostles, and GMS who rule well, and shalom to the hopeful elect out there.